Hello, Chattanooga.
Footnotes, Ministry of CAC, Chattanooga.
Sorry, I'm just trying to fit my Shriner's hat on back
Yeah, I see it. We're glad that you're joining with us. We are thankful for this time we can spend with you. Thank you for allowing us to be a guest in your proximity. My name is Raymond Sloan.
Hey, and I'm Sam Hodem. And we're just glad you've joined with us today here for Footnotes. Footnotes, it's a ministry of Cornerstone Apostolic Church, or CAC. And this is where we just sit down and we talk through, we look at some of the points that the preacher or preachers preached through the Sunday prior. Mm-hmm. And kind of, it's the footnotes of that sermon. Yeah. And some lessons learned out of it, things to take away.
This is session number 9.
Yeah.
And we're excited to bring a double header to you. If you haven't been on the app or on the website to actually watch the messages, watch the sermon, the service, I invite you to do so. At the first startup screen, there was a QR code. You're welcome to scan it. At the end, there'll be another. Mm-hmm. You can also go to cachattanooga.org. That's our website. We're found on many platforms. We're trying to do all that we can to get as much content out there. So
you haven't got a TikTok yet.
No, thank goodness, right? Yeah. But we're glad that you are here. As I've mentioned, we had a double header. Dakota Davis took the first 15 minutes, and Stacy McBee brought up the second part of that, another 15 or so. Dakota, the title of his message was Next in Line. Yeah. Tell us a little about that, Sam.
He started up and he put his title up, Next in Line, and Landon Gore, he actually at camp a couple weeks ago, he preached next, and I was like, oh, is he just going to re-preach a sermon? But Dakota wasn't there, so he didn't know. But gotcha. He took it very practical.
Yeah.
Very, very, and I love the practical. So he just dug right in. Hey, if you want to do something, do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And truth is we don't know when things are going to come about. We're not sure how long it's going to take. There's a process. Mm-hmm. But the key is we give ourselves to it. In fact, interestingly enough, his scripture text he used was about the story of Moses. And I'm sure probably all of us have one time or another in Sunday school or whatever talked about Moses or heard songs, sermons preached about it. But Moses was that leader that was called to deliver God's people from a bondage they were in 400 years or so. And Moses was coming along, if you will, living life. He had been, you can read the story in the scriptures, he had been in so many places in his life, but God found him, spoke to him, identified him as the one in the backside of a desert.
He did.
How?
He tried in and of himself.
That's right.
Yeah.
He tried to make it happen.
And God was like, nah, dude.
Yeah, there's a bush out there that you need to see a bush, but I'm going to wait for 40 years to show it to you.
So he's 80 years old.
Yeah.
And he finds his calling.
Purpose.
His purpose.
Yeah. He'd been spending half his life, if you will, tending sheep, if you will. But God had a plan. And so God began to move in the life of Moses. And the fact is, Sam, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of great lessons to learn in the life of Moses. And one of those that sticks out to me often is he had a great ability to make mistakes.
And he just kind of kept going. Somehow.
Yeah. And perseverance, I think, is key, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you, but a lot of times I'm ready to quit and give up because it didn't happen when I thought or how I thought or in what way. Yeah, throw up your hands and say, never mind, apparently God's not in this.
I'm sorry. For those that are listening.
Yeah, the hands just went up. There you go. But to continue that, though, his message, Dakota really went in depth in about how all the while a young man born in slavery his name was Hosea, and then Moses changed his name to Joshua, Jehovah's salvation. And Joshua comes along, and he is simply doing what he is doing, helping Moses. He's there with Moses. You find him in many, many stories in the scriptures where Moses is mentioned. And then because of situations, again, mistakes, Joshua's given the reins. He was next in line. Now, I have no doubt Moses nor Joshua knew that particular moment was going to come.
No. I'm sure Joshua, one, he wasn't the most popular.
True.
He did not go along with the crowd.
That's right. That's true.
I mean, he was just like, everyone's like, yeah, we can't do it. He's like, we can do it. And,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's evident by the spies, if you will, when they went over into the promise. Yeah, he came back with a report that said, I'm a nobody, but I know we can do it because God is giving it. Now let's get up and do it. And him and Caleb were stood down, if you will. The fact remains is some of you listening, or some of you, you're engaged right now in many things in life. It very well could be that God is preparing you for the next chapter. Are you the next in line for whatever?
And then Dakota kind of brought, are you wanting to be the next in line, but not putting in the work for it?
Work.
The work. Oh,
that's
a four-letter word.
Then how do you do that? How do you invest?
So, I mean, it's not your salvation.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's not earning your salvation. It's investing in the kingdom.
In what way? How do you do it?
Everyone's got a different thing.
Okay. Well, how do you invest in your future?
Well, we just been talking about time, talent, and treasure.
Mm-hmm.
So, of my time, of my talent, and of my treasure, I try to make sure that I am doing everything I can to make sure God gets his return that he's invested in me. I'm just a steward.
Okay. Wow, that's a great point. Then if that's the case, question, investing in yourself, do you read? Do you study?
Yeah.
Do you go to, events? Do you talk? Do you have a mentor? You have people in your life?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now,
Have to.
Yeah, you have to. Because, again, to be in a position to where God can use you, you have to submit yourself to the things of God.
Yeah.
And the lesson we learned from Dakota's next in line was, number one, get into a place where God can grow you.
So, not the place that you can see your way out of.
That's right. Or where you can plant your own and harvest your own, but where God actually says, you know what, there's a path that I have for you, and I need you to grow in it. So you've got to get to that place. And then once you get there, invest, learn, submit to it, press your way into it.
I don't know if it's for everybody, but like when I'm somewhere or when I'm doing something, I like to treat it as though I'm going to be doing that the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because the mistakes, put it this way, if you're building something and you're just building it quick, like it's not yours,
Wow.
then you might build it and it just kind of be shaky and halfway
True.
do it. But if you've got to live it, you've got to live in it and do it, or whatever it is, then you've got to deal with it when it doesn't stand up or when there's issues, because you just kind of ironed over them.
I think so many times on that note, Sam, perhaps maybe it's just the nature of humanity. We are taking possession of it, responsibility of it, but we are trying to preconceive the outcome.
Oh, that's fair.
And in so doing, I can almost assure you there's no way that Moses would have said, I'm going to get to an age to where God's going to say, you've done all this, but you're not going to go into the promised land. No, Moses was just doing. Yeah. And because of his actions, God said, you're going to stay. In the meantime, while that's going on, though, God was preparing a Joshua who I am certain, just by, again, if you go into the Old Testament and look at his verbiage, he says, who am I that I could do this? I don't have a
He didn't.
staff. I don't have, the things that Moses had. God was saying to him, but you're next in line. That's why you have been on this road and on this journey that I've been leading you through.
He,
And then
he had
Joshua
hung
did.
out when no one else was hanging out with him.
Wow, what a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he stayed with it.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy then comes up after Dakota, and her message was, don't kill the messenger. And they really dovetail very smoothly, if you will, very simply. Dakota took the direction of being next in line, but Stacy then comes along and says, are you willing to take the message, the word, the investment,
Yeah.
the information, and are you willing to take it, adhere to it, listen to it, grow with it, mature with it, or do you not like what you've heard, so you're going to wipe away the messenger? I mean, that was a very interesting take on it. She took, even from history, that back before phones and all of that, one of the things she brought out was that the only way that armies could communicate was they would have a physical note signed and sealed by the commander of one military force, send the messenger to the other one, and that's how they communicated. And there was an honor and respect that was, you don't mess with the messenger, because if that word stops, then you don't have communication, and things can really happen. She even gave a couple of great examples, didn't she?
People that were killing the messenger. Was it tyrannies that she mentioned? I wonder if that's where the word tyranny comes from.
Probably.
Yeah.
That'd
He
be something to look
killed
into.
the messengers that came to him that brought things he didn't want to hear. Well, obviously they lost the battles.
Yeah, because there was no understanding of what was actually transpiring.
Yeah.
She also gave another one, very interesting, about how you can misinterpret the messages. What was
The mailman analogy she
Yeah.
used. Oh,
Yeah.
that was the best.
that was good?
Like, were you gonna get mad at the mailman for bringing you your light bill?
Yeah, as if he lived in your house. No, the fact is that is yours, right? That is your responsibility.
You're personally accountable for that. Now you've got to pay the bill.
Right, but if you get upset at it, that's the same premise, is now you want to kill the messenger when in fact it's not him.
So let's kill the messenger. Let's get rid of the mailman so he doesn't bring the light bill. What happens in 15 days?
Yeah, power goes off, you're in jail.
That's true, because you killed the messenger.
Yeah, that's right. But your electricity goes off because you didn't pay your bill.
Yeah. So you're sitting there in the dark,
Right.
and you're like, I wonder why did this happen? So
Wow. We face that in so many areas of our life. Today, I really think, Sam, we have to know that God still does speak to people.
I think so.
There was written word,
Yeah. there's
spoken word, through, if we're submitted to authority in our lives, God can use that. There's something that was spoke about often, and of course I'm a little older than you, but when I was a kid, a lot of conversations, a lot of time, there was a word called conviction.
Yeah.
It's where that spirit inside of you begins to try to help you and encourage you and speak to you. I think that we are in a culture today that labels and rights and whatever are really snuffing out a lot of that power of a word given to you.
Yeah. I think there are a lot in the culture, in the day and age that we're in, that they'll say my safe space. You can't say anything. And in one sense, I would say I feel sorry for them,
Yeah.
because probably some of the people that should have or could have spoken in their lives abused or neglected.
True.
And
that does happen.
yeah, and then they didn't know what to do with that. But that doesn't mean everyone that has a word of correction is bad.
Right. Yeah.
And then I think there's also with the internet, with the inauthentic nature of things on the World Wide Web, so to speak, that when people do hear that very direct, that very consistent, that very almost a holy conviction,
Yeah.
they'll listen.
Sure.
I believe that. I believe that there are people that they want to hear through that noise of the culture.
Wow. The distractions,
Yeah.
the stuff. Yeah, I agree. Now, how does somebody respond then, Sam, to a message that's given, and however that is given to you, whether the preacher, your pastor, a Sunday school teacher, just a family member that's got your best interest
Yeah.
in heart? How does somebody respond to that, and what difference
You
does it make?
shut them down and you tell them they don't know what they're talking about because you
Know
heard this on
everything.
the internet.
Yeah, there you go. You asked all your friends on the internet. Yeah.
Or your professors.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, here
I'm
we
hating
go.
on professors for a minute. Now, I mean, there's a reason that Jesus used the potter and the clay,
Wow. Yeah, great analogy.
because each voice can shift and shape us, and it's not always pretty.
Yeah.
Sometimes that process is ugly, right?
True. But the end result,
Then once we go through, what is it, the kiln?
that's right, being dried.
Yeah, that's after all the shaping's been done.
Right. Now
Yeah.
we're ready to be used.
Yeah.
Wow. Great messages, both of them. Next in line, and then don't kill the messenger. Again, if you have not.
If they'd have had them reversed, everyone would be like on pins and
Yeah.
needles for Dakota.
Right, we're not sure what that means. Are you next in line? That's funny. The fact remains is there's here at CAC we try our best every time we meet, every time. I mean, we've got things happening
Yeah.
many days throughout the week. We're just trying to help folk discover God's voice in their life, help them to be molded and made even through their mistakes, because we're the same. We're humans as well.
We're a church on the move.
Yeah.
We're always trying to do something
Yeah.
Yeah.
Positive.
positive.
Good.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
You may look at it and be like, oh, they're not doing too well. We're trying.
Trying.
Come and
I
help
think,
us.
come plug in with us.
Yeah.
You may be sitting there next in line.
Oh,
That's a
and
play
then if you mess up, don't kill the mess.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We meet on Sundays and Wednesdays in person. We've got we've got a lot of things going on Tuesday night. There's sessions, there's prayer time. Go to the app, go to the website. Again, on the startup of Footnotes and on the ending screen, there's a QR code. Feel free to scan it. What are they going to find on there?
They'll find our website. They'll find a way to contact us, call us, shoot us an email, and just kind of let us know if there's some things that you have questions about.
Yeah.
Reach out. Go listen to the archives there. There's a calendar there showing all the different things that are happening. I can about guarantee we'll find something for you, or you'll find something for you.
Yeah.
And we want you to.
Right. There's merch on there you can find from CAC. Anyway, thank you so much again for allowing us some time with you. Go back and watch the archives of all of these sessions and look for future ones. The Lord bless all of you. The Lord bless your home. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.